Hi there, I'm Kelly Ripa, and this is my Variety Power of Women cover shoot. Starting out in that industry in particular, it was really night and day to how it is now. It's so difficult to encapsulate in words because you really had to be there to feel it. But it was definitely a place where I was expected to be grateful and to appreciate my job without creating a fuss and without any self-advocacy. So these were just basic things that a person might ask for. I remember one day I referred to part of our show, we call it Host Chat, where we talk about the news of the day, the kind of lighthearted stories. And I called them the bits on the air. I said, oh, let's get to the bits. And I'm still not sure who, but it enraged someone. Someone somewhere did not like me referring to it as the bits. So from that moment forth, I never had another news article placed in front of me ever again. I was being punished. To me, it was sort of a microcosm of what it was like back then. The most influential woman in my life, hands down, is my mom. She is responsible for all of the comedy. She is responsible for giving me everything. The best advice that was given to me was watching Billie Jean King tell women to follow the money. I was watching MSNBC and Billie Jean King was given this interview about how men are revered for earning money and they're taught to go after money, and women are taught to, you never discuss money and you be happy with what you're given. And she said, if my message to women is to follow the money, to go for it and get it. So I started writing freehand, writing down her quote so that I could put it in my book because I found it so impactful.
Please, women, follow the money. Follow the money.
I try to remind every woman I work with as much as possible, know your worth and go after what your worth is. Make sure you get the money because in our business and through the decades, it's always been a quiet thing that women do not discuss what they earn, and I am not sure why that is. And furthermore, don't let what you earn become weaponized against you. My other piece of advice for women in business is self-advocacy, because we oftentimes, I find women in business champion other people, and I think it's essential to champion other people, as long as you're reminding yourself to champion yourself as well. I think my early days working at my current job, I wanted to give up. I think it was the camaraderie of the women that I worked with there that really kept me going. The transition from going from acting to broadcast was strange and not graceful at all from my perspective, for me. I found that knowing how to access myself without having a character to play was enormously challenging in the beginning. But you get comfortable doing it real quick or you get out of the game. So the idea of Mark becoming the co-host was brought up to us by the network, by ABC, and then I got on board kind of quickly because they showed me all the pros. There were not really any cons. We've worked together so many times in our past. Mark and I have worked together on All My Children and on Hope and Faith and on many, many other shows, and we run our production company together, so we know that we can work together. But it was really Mark that took the most convincing because he reveres the show in a way, and he loves the show so much, and he kept saying, how is that gonna work? What will we discuss if we know each other? And so it just started making sense to him as well that it would be a really seamless transition. And All of our producers and our executive producer could not have been more excited because trying to explain the unexplainable to whoever is coming in that's the new person. And with Mark, there's none of that. There's none of that anxiety because he's done it so many times. Our kids were very jazzed about the whole thing because they've watched this social experiment and they thought it was a great idea. Although if I'm being completely honest, my son Michael was a little upset that he was not considered for the job over Mark.